Okay. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Town of Kent organizational meeting. Let's start the meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand in your own homes? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America, to
and
the
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and justice for all. Okay. Let's start the meeting with roll call, please.
Supervisor Fleming,
Present.
Councilwoman McGlasson,
Present.
Councilman Ruthven,
Here.
Councilman Denbound,
Present.
Councilman Hughes.
Here.
All present.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So who wants to start us off this evening?
I'll start. All right. I make a motion to set a schedule for town board workshops and meetings.
And that was attached to the,
And annexed here too.
very good. Second, all in favor?
Before we, are we able to switch the February to the last week in February? Because I know we have winter break for the kids. I don't know if anybody has an objection to that or wants to take a look at it.
I may have an issue
Okay.
with that meeting. So,
With
I
the-
mean, with switching it.
All right. Well, I'll approve it and then take a look and see if there's, a way to make sure if we have an issue, that we can change it.
Absolutely. I mean, we've done that in the past when we've needed to. Okay, now, we don't need, Nancy, just as a point of order, we don't need to do a roll call on all of these, correct?
No, it's not legally required.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to set the salaries of non-union employees pursuant to the 2020 adopted budget.
Second.
Second,
For discussion, just want to, I believe, and you can confirm this, Maureen, but this year our non-union people are not getting raises.
yes.
I think that's
non-union-
important. I think that's important for the public to know that because of, everything else going on in the world.
Absolutely, non-union and all elected officials are not getting salary increase.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to set the mileage rate per IRS at 56 cents per mile.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to set holiday schedule as per the employee handbook and collective bargaining agreements.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Bill Eustace as deputy supervisor.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Maureen Fleming as the budget officer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Tamara Harrison as the supervisor's confidential secretary.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Yolanda Capelli as the access to records clerk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Yolanda Capelli to registrar of vital statistics.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to reappoint Yolanda Capelli marriage officer.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Lauren Latterback as deputy town clerk 1.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Lucy Piero deputy town clerk 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Lauren Latterback as the deputy registrar of vital statistics.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to appoint Jessica Edwards as the court clerk for Judge Timothy Curtis.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Annette Flaherty as the court clerk to Judge Kevin Dushkoff.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Stephanie Nix as the Deputy Receiver of Taxes.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Ron Calkins as the Deputy Fire Inspector.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint Justin Lewis as the Assistant Fire Inspector.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does someone else want to turn?
You're doing great, Jamie.
Okay, then I'll keep going. I just didn't want to. Make a motion to appoint Stephen Gasparini as the Assistant Fire Inspector.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to reappoint the Mayapack National Bank, Bank Depository, and Putnam County Savings Bank, and Putnam County National Bank additional bank depositories.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Really, nobody is going to take this over from Jane.
I make a motion to reappoint the Putnam County Press, the official newspaper, and any other newspapers as necessary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. This isn't even as long as a long resolution. This is like
Yeah, that's
doing
right.
one.
True.
Easy for you guys to say, you're not doing it. No, I'm kidding. Reappoint Walter Recker for the Beautification Committee member, a 5-year term to expire on December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to reappoint Jacqueline Callahan Stewart, Board of Assessment Review, 5-year term to expire September 30th, 2025.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to reappoint Bill Volkman, Conservation Advisory Committee Chairperson.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Reappoint Pamela Wadler, Conservation Advisory Committee member, 5-year term to expire December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to reappoint Jacqueline Rorig Strickland as the town historian.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to reappoint Madeline Perez, Lake Carmel Park District Advisory Board member with a 5-year term to expire December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to reappoint Kathy Wargus, Lake Carmel Park District Advisory Board member, 5-year term to expire December 31st, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to add to the meeting, reappointing the chairperson and co-chairperson to the Lake Carmel Park District
Second.
Advisory Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now you have to make the motion, Jamie.
I know, now I make a motion to
And then
appoint
somebody else did.
Walter Recker as chairperson and,
Gail Cusack.
Cusack as co-chairperson until, to expire, it's a year, so to expire December 31st, 2021.
Oh,
Second.
just for
Yeah.
a point of reference, is it co-chair or vice chair?
Vice Chair.
Okay.
Nice.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now it's someone else's turn.
Oh, well, all right, I'll do it. So I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Patricia Ravert as Lake Carmel Community Center member for 5-year term to expire 12/31/2025. Okay,
Or-
good. I was gonna,
Or I think
roll
we're gonna
call.
table the Lake Carmel Community Center members, just so that we can discuss that a little bit.
Right, so I make a motion to
31.
table number 31 through 35 for further discussion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All right, so now that I've done 5, do I hand it off?
Now that you've done none.
I make a motion to reappoint Dorian Diasuilo as the Lake Tibet Park District Advisory Board chairperson.
Second.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Phil Tolmack as the planning board chairperson.
Second,
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Dennis Lowe's as the planning board vice chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Bruce Barber of Cornerstone Appraisals, Inc. as the planning board environmental consultant.
second,
Roll call.
Councilman Denbound,
Oh, I abstain just because I've been told we have no power over this, though. I abstain from the vote.
Okay, Councilman Eustace,
Yes.
Councilman Ruthven,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGlasson,
Yes.
Supervisor Fleming.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Julie Mangarello of Rhodey Soika Andrews Consulting Engineers P.D. as the planning board engineer.
Second, all in
Roll
favor?
call,
Councilman Denbow,
abstain.
okay, Councilman Ruthven,
Yes.
Councilman Eustace,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGlasson,
Yes.
Supervisor Fleming.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Jeffrey Battistoni of Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP as a planning board attorney.
Second.
Roll call,
Councilman Denbow,
abstain.
Councilman Ruthven,
Yes.
Councilman Eustace,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGlasson,
Yes.
Supervisor Fleming.
Yes,
Motion carried.
And last one, I'd like to reappoint Liz Axon of Clark Patterson / Morris Associates. Is she one or the other? Do we know? Is she not with Morris anymore? Or
I think,
I don't know.
I think they were purchased by another company and now it's CPL that she's with.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll reappoint Liz Axon as the planning board planner.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Howard Carpenter as the Kent Recycling Commission co-chairperson.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Susan Kotzer as the Kent Recycling Commission co-chairperson.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Denbow,
No.
Councilman Ruthven,
Yes.
Councilman Eustace,
Yes.
Councilwoman McGlasson,
Yes.
Supervisor Fleming.
No,
Motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Deborah Mikulke, sorry if I mispronounced that, Kent Recycling Commission, a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2025.
second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Audrey Coligiero as chairperson to the Water District Number 1.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Semco Plumbing, the plumber of Water District Number 1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Carol Croston as the chairperson of Water District Number 2.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Semco as the plumber for Water District Number 2, or the operator, I guess, operator.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Gordon Macchio as zoning board of appeal chair.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Ronald Hansen as the zoning board of appeals member. It's a 5-year term to expire 12/31/2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Ronald Hansen as the zoning board of appeals vice chairperson.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town clerk to publish legal notices.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town clerk to advertise for notice for bids.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town clerk to draw warrants.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Hogan and Rossi as legal counsel of the town board.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay upon receipt of authorized warrants and contracts, hospitalization, telephone, electric, gas, social security, freight, and other similar bills as per town law, section 29, subsection 4.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to create a climate smart task force as an advisory body to the KCAC.
Second.
We have a resolution for that one.
Ooh.
Second, I'd like to,
Yeah.
you know, get some information on what's going on?
Sure.
Should I read the full resolution on this one?
Okay. Yeah, it's for 58 and 59.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion for resolution authorizing the establishment, full settlement. Whereas in October of 2019, the town board of the town of Kent adopted a climate smart resolution and pledged to be a climate smart community and mitigate and reduce greenhouse gas emissions while preparing for impacts of climate change and saving taxpayer dollars. And whereas in order to be certified as a climate smart community, the town board is required to appoint a climate smart task force as well as its coordinators. And whereas a climate smart task force is a volunteer steering committee tasked with guiding the town of Kent toward climate smart community certification. And whereas Supervisor Fleming and Councilman Ruthven have expressed an interest in serving on the climate smart task force, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby creates the Kent Climate Smart Task Force, and be it further resolved that the Climate Smart Task Force shall be advisory to the Kent Conservation Advisory Committee and shall consist of the members of the Kent Conservation Advisory Committee, Supervisor Fleming and Councilman Ruthven, other representatives of town offices and or committees, and interested members of the community. And be it further resolved that the town board hereby appoints Christopher Ruthven and Ann Ballant Campbell as co-coordinators of the Climate Smart Task Force. I make that motion.
Can we, second for discussion?
Sorry. Yeah.
So do we have the creation and appointment of Chris and Ann as two separate items?
We did, but it was rolled into one resolution by council.
Okay, so,
Do you want to vote on them separately, or, I mean,
I would, if I have the votes for that, I would like to vote on them separately. So I would like to make a motion to create the Climate Smart Task Force as read by Maureen.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Denbaum,
No, and just briefly, I beg my colleagues on the town board to reconsider this. We've had this discussion before. If you have been to ShopRite in the recent time, you will notice there are no more plastic bags because of great ideas from our fearless leader, Andrew Cuomo, such as this. These Climate Smart Task Force do nothing but create hardship on the citizens. So now you go to ShopRite and you'll spend $10 on bags, or you'll get paper bags that you'll be required to pay for that will rip in half on your way out the grocery store. There's constantly people all built together schlepping around the same bags that haven't been sanitized, haven't been washed in this quote unquote health crisis, where it would make total sense to have nice, clean plastic bags that could be quickly given out and moved along. We struggle with people bringing bags in and out of their home all over the place. It is a disaster. Go to ShopRite on a Sunday and see how less efficient and how less safe from a health standpoint we are because of ideas that come out of task forces like this. We do not need an Andrew Cuomo task force to figure out climate. We don't. So I vote no, and I beg my colleagues to vote no as well.
Councilman Ruthven,
I'd like to say that we have been meeting since June as a subgroup, not officially, because we weren't official yet, for the Climate Smart Task Force, and talking about what we need to do to get our certification, going through the lists of stuff that takes to be certified, and looking at possible funding opportunities that open up once we get certified. Never once on a list, nor once during discussion did we talk about any bags at ShopRite or any other bags, because it wasn't part of the certification for Climate Smart, nor ever part of our discussion. But the people on this are very interested in the environment, as am I, and the ideas are sound. It's nothing that I know of coming out of the governor's office telling us what we have to do as a town or giving us any dictation on what we have to do, but it is opening up opportunities that we can look at making things better, and a lot of municipalities are doing this in Putnam right now. So my vote is yes.
Question. for Chris, is there any coordination among the towns with the county?
Yes.
Okay.
Councilman Hustis,
Yes, I'll go along with this task force. I don't know how far they'll get in Kent, but I will support the cause.
Councilwoman McGlasson,
I will support the task force, the establishing of it with Supervisor Fleming and Councilman Ruthven spearheading it, but not any committee members.
That's the second resolution, isn't it? It's going to be the second one, Paul?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Then yes on this one.
yes, okay. Supervisor Fleming,
Yeah, I think being environmentally conscious is really good for our town. I think this is really a step in the right direction. I know that Councilman Ruthven has been working very hard on this, along with Ann Campbell and members of the CAC. Being environmentally conscious and environmentally smart is more than just plastic bags, although plastic bags certainly cause grave environmental issues. But again, as Councilman Ruthven has said, it's really beyond that discussion, and it's a step we really should be taking. And I support all the work he's done already on it, and all the work that Ann Ballant Campbell has done as a volunteer. So yes, I vote yes.
motion carried.
So now you divided the resolution up so that appointing Chris and Ann Ballant Campbell is a separate motion, or did you divide it so that the Kent, the Climate Smart Task Force was the advisory to the Kent Conservation Action Committee? Is that where you divided it, Paul?
Yep. So by that vote, as far as I understand it, we've created the Climate Smart Task Force where Maureen Yu as supervisor and Chris Ruthven would be heading it. And this would be an additional resolution to appoint Chris and Ann as co-coordinators. Chris is already the task force issue anyway. So the only addition here is Ann Campbell and Chris as co-coordinators. Chris is already the main coordinator. So I would make that motion and make a motion to appoint Ann Campbell as a co-coordinator of the Carmel Smart Task Force, and I would ask for that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Denbound,
And I know it's hard to do on Zoom. It really is, and it's harder for me even in person, but definitely harder in Zoom. And I just want to make clear for Chris, who's in the other, far away, I can barely see a box here. My qualms, and I think he knows this, has nothing to do with him or his work. I know him to be a very reasonable person and somebody who cares about the hunting aspects of the environment and environmental conservation that way. And I think that the ideas that Chris will bring to the table will be ones that are needed. My objection to the original one is I just don't think it's needed. And I think it ends up 10 years down the road, 12 years down the road as something other than the vehicle it is now. I mean, when they've put together this police task force, you should see the questions on there. And it's not, the questions are originated from people who don't share my values, and I don't think share the value of the community. So similar to that, my worry is not about Chris's association with it, and even Maureen's, but my concern that you're welcome. My concern that people who do not share the value of our community will move this along in ways that create more hardship. So just I want to clarify that, but I will also vote no to add Ann Campbell to co-coordinate.
okay. Councilman Ruthven,
I'm going to vote yes. I got to say that I've been working with Ann, not just on this project, but on the CAC, since I became on the town board. She's dedicated to this type of stuff. She's very knowledgeable in it. She is truly the workforce behind a lot of what we get done. I think when the understanding of what Climate Smart is made more clear, people will understand that it's just a vehicle toward whatever we want. It's not an agenda. It's a way for us to get funding for projects that we want to fund. We make that choice as a town board. Nobody's making that choice for us. So I think it's up to us as the task force to educate the public so everybody's more aware of what it is and has a better understanding. So there's not any misconceptions that this is some kind of a Green New Deal idea that's being shoved down anybody's throats, because that's not what it is. So my vote is definitely yes for Ann.
Councilman Eustace,
No,
Councilwoman McGlasson,
No, I'd like to see who other and interested members are also on the committee before voting on anyone to be added.
Supervisor Fleming,
You know, I have to say, I really am so shocked and so disappointed by this board making this basically a political statement, because Ann Campbell, we all know, I guess, that she ran for office. I guess maybe that figures into this, but she has been involved in this process and actually spearheading it with Councilman Ruthven. She has been the absolute moving force with him on this. We've had multiple meetings. We've had multiple discussions. She has come up with plans. I mean, the work that she has done already on this is far beyond what, let's face it, sometimes it's far beyond what elected officials do. The amount of time she's dedicated to this, and to vote her down without, I mean, Chris has been working on this and it is his recommendation. I have met with Chris and Ann on a number of occasions, and to vote her down based on nothing. I mean, Chris is recommending this. He has been leading the way. I think is absolutely disgraceful that we're going to look for other volunteers that are more, that share our points of view. I don't even know what that means. I really am flummoxed by this. We didn't vote down any other political people that have been on committees. They all have passed, and to vote down Ann Campbell with the work she has already put into this is disgraceful. I vote yes.
motion is not carried.
Make a motion for advertise for boiler quotes for town hall. Do we have a resolution for this?
Yes. I think you're accepting quotes. You're not advertising.
Okay. Let me see if I have the backup here.
You should.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm working off of a different agenda. Hold on.
You want me to read it? I have it right here.
Okay.
I make a resolution accepting a quote for a boiler for town hall. Whereas there is a need for a new boiler for the town hall, and whereas consistent with the town's procurement policy, the town requested quotes for replacement boiler and received 3 in response. And whereas Sclafani Energy submitted the lowest quote to furnish and install a boiler for town hall for an overall cost of $6,500. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the quote of Sclafani Energy for replacement of the boiler at town hall for an amount not to exceed $6,500. And it is further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I know we have a resolution. I'm just been trying to get to, I have the version, the public version up. I don't have the backup version. I'm just getting to it.
It was sent later on in the day.
No, I know. I'm just with the Zoom on my phone and the other thing. I just have the one from the website up, and that's not.
That's not it.
So I need to go into my email.
I'm gonna,
Oh, you can read this one. I'll try and get it for the next one.
okay. I make a resolution to authorize the carryover vacation time, whereas Lisa Lynn DiPiero has not used all of her allotted vacation time and has requested that her remaining vacation time be carried over into 2021. And whereas the town board wishes to authorize that any remaining vacation time for the year 2020 due to Lisa Lynn Piero be carried over onto the 2021 calendar year. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town board authorizes the carryover any outstanding vacation time of Lisa Lindy Piero as of December 31st, 2020 into the 2021 calendar year on the condition that they be used on or before January 8th, 2021. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the resignation of Erica Nitz from the Beautification Committee with regret.
Second for discussion, just to add my 2 cents, I was very disappointed to see Erica step aside and resign. She was very active in a bunch of things under the beautification scope of services, in addition to plantings and some other things trying to do. But it is with regret, and I think we're down to a committee of 3 or 4 active members, and hope that we'll regroup and get some new people in. But was disappointed to see Erica leave.
Did we have a second on that?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ready, Maureen?
Go ahead.
I asked the town board to approve the following vouchers for January 5th. For the month, as of January 5th, for the month of 2020 for the vouchers, CDW Government, $4,436.31, police computer equipment. Kevin P. Irwin, $2,061, October, special prosecutor. Magna 5, $3,842.77 for telephone service. Also a Magna 5, $2,868.25 for November network service, $2,879.80 for October network service, and $2,890.45 for September network service. Millennium Strategies, $2,250 for December's grant services. Purchase Power, $2,000 for postage. Thal Industries, $9,437.30 for blacktop. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $3,058.12 for November chargebacks for recreation. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $2,622.85 November chargebacks for police. And as of right now, 2021 vouchers as of January 5th, 2021. Lexipol, $9,744 for law enforcement manuals. And the Town of Kent PBA, $17,064. It's the 2021 welfare fund. In addition, state controllers, court fines and fees, $38,749. I ask you to approve as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, public comment. If you have a public comment, I guess, can they unmute their own mics, Paul?
I'm not muted.
No, not you.
That's Walter, hi.
Oh, okay, Walter, all right. Do you have a
Good
public
evening.
comment?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have one comment, if I could, on the comments and discussion on engaging in the work that Councilman Ruthven is involved with as far as the environmental panel. And I guess the only comment I would have, and I think it's just something I'd like to hear more about. I completely agree that it's worth, taking a look at that, and anything we can do, to enhance our environment locally and otherwise is a good thing. And I'm just hoping to, on projects like these, and the reason people get involved with local communities is that they try to keep regional or state or national politics out of this conversation, because to a pretty, I mean, for the most part, they're not relevant. So I'm just hoping the board as a whole, continues to look at it that way, unless, of course, that there are specific regulations and, things that are relevant to that. I'm also, for example, I've seen other towns in Westchester County recently look at putting solar on their, municipal buildings. And I'd love to see you as a board take a close look at that, because it's much more cost effective today than it's ever been. And, if that's something in a town that has to sometimes, squeeze and scrape around for budget, if there's something like that that can be a win-win, in other words, saving energy and doing something good for the environment, I don't understand why anybody would be against that. And I'm hoping an issue like that isn't political at all. It's just common sense, and it's being done in other places. So I'd like to see that continue. So just wanted to throw that out there. I've actually done some work in the solar business earlier in my career, and I have a pretty good sense of that, and it's a great payback. So anytime you see anything like that as an opportunity, I just think the town should pursue that with vigor and with an open mind. And if it's good for the town, the politics comes afterwards.
Well, Walter, I just, if I can jump in here, I appreciate that. And my goal tonight was not to bring any sort of national politics into it. And a lot of this stuff is local. I mean, I hate to get too personal here, but in the last couple of years, try going to the Bronx Zoo and bringing a child with special needs to Bronx Zoo. You know what you'll find? You'll find they don't have straws anymore at the Bronx Zoo. So if your kid, somebody needs a straw to help them drink or something, they don't give them out at the Bronx Zoo, because it's bad for the environment. So all the kids that are carted around, if mom or dad forgot to bring the water bottle, the reusable one that we're all in favor of, well, the Bronx Zoo just says go shove off the environment. One plastic straw, your ability to live as a normal human being is just not as important. And these things aren't national politics. This isn't Obama or Trump doing it. It's the Bronx Zoo. It's a pretty local endeavor run by a local New York City government that probably has a climate task force churning out tons of ideas. Now, maybe some of the ideas will be good. Maybe some of them will be worthwhile. But and it has nothing to do with national politics. But as a small C conservative type guy, I have never in my experience on the town board and in life, I have never seen a task force put together by the government that doesn't result in a slippery slope of terrible ideas and consequences that nobody can think of at the time. And it's never, government's not efficient. I don't want my local tax dollars going to fund people sitting around thinking about how we can be green, when most of the time that results in bad ideas. And you may think that's too national. That's fine. There's a lot of towns in Westchester that not only do they have the county bag tax, but they have local bag taxes in addition to it. That doesn't come from national politics. That comes directly out of these climate smart task forces. I don't think we're saving the environment with a straw. I don't think we're saving with a plastic bag. And while that may not be on the agenda right now, when you put unelected people in charge after the elected people are well gone, these things percolate up, and these task forces create ideas that are just an antithesis to what I believe in. And, for Maureen's sake, I'm glad Ann's putting a lot of work in this. I have a feeling that if I put a ton of work into a pet project of mine that you didn't agree with, whether it was a pro-life project or a super pro-Second Amendment, or I spent hours, figuring out how to cut taxes as low as possible. I don't think you say, well, you worked really hard on your pro-life amendment. Why don't you use town resources to go do it? The idea that I'm against something that I don't believe in is not political. It's not the easy thing. There's a bunch of other Republicans here voting yes. My position is not the easy position. This is actually what I believe. I actually believe this is nonsense. And
Paul,
results
and-
in less. It has nothing to do with politics.
and Paul, you voted against Climate Smart when we
Yes.
brought it up last year. You
Yeah.
voted against it last year. You divided this resolution into two parts. And I'm not saying, we endorsed Climate Smart as a town board. You voted against it. I mean, that happens. Sometimes votes are 4-1, sometimes they're 5-0, sometimes they're 3-2. So that was your position. You're consistent with your position that you don't believe in this. But the town board did endorse it. So it's very different from you saying, well, I work on a pro-life thing. This is a town function that we endorsed as a town. You didn't vote for it, but it still was passed by the town. And we have a volunteer who we're always asking for volunteers. Please.
I would like them to plant
volunteer.
things. I'm sorry, I'll let you go. I apologize for
Thanks.
interrupting. I apologize.
We're always asking for volunteers. And here we have a really bright, committed, capable person who has done an inordinate amount of work on this. I mean, I know Chris has met a bunch more times than I have, but Chris and Ann and I have met. He's done it with the CAC. This has been an ongoing project since the board endorsed it. Now, if the rest of the board members had been interested in finding out what the work was so that they could make a reasoned decision on Ann Campbell as the, co-chair, or it's not co-chair, that would have been fine. But to overlook the work of a volunteer and minimize it and say, we're not appointing her, even though she has done yeoman's work on this, that the town board endorsed going forward, that she was one of the drafters of the Climate Smart, that she pretty much brought it to us and got Chris involved. And Chris has been really active in this. And to say to her and to Chris, we don't need you to do this, when she has done almost all the work on it, I think is, at least to me, says, unless you're in a certain group that this board will endorse, don't even bother, because you can do all the work. What it says to volunteers is, don't volunteer. That's what it says to volunteers.
Well, I just voted in favor of Dale Cusack, who ran for public office again in a party not mine. I just voted for Phil Tomac, who ran in a party not mine locally, both of them. It has nothing to do with party politics. The idea that she's spearheading it makes
You
me
voted against it all, Paul. I mean,
What?
you
I'm just
voted
saying that-
against the whole.
Yeah, but listen, that's the idea that she spearheaded it and put all this effort into it. Makes me want to put it on the committee last, because the whole idea is anathema to me. But I would like, hey, listen, I'll put Walter on the committee. I'll put some business-minded people on the committee. I do not want people whose driving force is a left of center environmental ideology running a town committee. That's just not what I believe, and it's very simple.
I don't think you have to be left of center to be environmental conscious.
Well, I think she is, and that's why I voted no.
I think it would also be nice before we appoint people to this to hear where they stand on certain things. I mean, appointing Chris is on the town board with us. I think it's a little different with appointing someone not on the town board. I just want to know what their ideas are, and do you have other people that are going to be appointed, Chris?
We were appointing Ann as a co-coordinator for the Climate Smart Task Force. Now, you got to remember, the Climate Smart Task Force is not a committee. It's a task force for the CAC, which everybody on the Climate Smart is already on the CAC, but we had to hit official status in order to be able to move forward to start to do anything. I'm very frustrated. I don't really want to get into it with you guys because I'm really unhappy right now.
Just for my 2 cents again, a couple of times I requested to go over appointments, committees. I felt it was important, and I didn't know that this was going to be on the agenda until I got it late last night. But I did ask to, and I actually stopped in the office there to go over a couple of things. I didn't hear anything, and because I had questions, and some of the stuff I did put in writing, And I just wanted more information, and it didn't happen. And I'm sure there's reasons, and I won't get into that. But I did inquire about a lot of the things. I have been working a lot of hours on different things, and I wanted to learn more about what's on the agenda, is some of the appointments and where are we going. And I know I drive everybody on the town board crazy with some of my emails and stuff, but I'm trying to make a difference too. And again, I look at the beautification committee and the small committee and some of the active members. And in closing, I just want to thank Walt Retcher for his Lake Carmel exhibit, which brought back so much positive stuff to Lake Carmel and the town of Kent. And I don't know if we actually thanked you, Walt, but special thank you there.
Thank you, Bill.
I would like to go back to something Walt, so that's how his comments are what spurred this heated conversation. Walt, you don't have to go to Westchester to see what you were seeing down there. You can go look at the county office building, the Donald B. Smith campus. There's solar panels being installed on all these buildings right now as part of Article 9, as part of Putnam County's Climate Smart Initiative. And it's happening right here in Putnam County right now by Putnam County government.
That's great news, Chris. I didn't know that. That's really good to hear. Really good. So that'd be great if we could look at it for, the building, town of Kent.
And the straws down at the Bronx Zoo were taken away by the not-for-profit that runs it, not any municipal government down there.
The same people that Ann Campbell is like, that's who are on the nonprofits, and that's who's on the task force.
Oh, my
Everybody on the
God.
KAC, everybody in the KAC is a cardboard cutout of the people on those types of.
You're way wrong there,
You're
Paul.
wrong.
You're way
Go to a
wrong.
meeting once, Paul. Go see what people actually have to say without cookie cuttering everybody. It really is so offensive because somebody doesn't agree with you, that they're radical or they're ridiculous or they have an agenda. Your kid's one straw is not what's at issue. What's at issue is thousands, millions. Maybe you don't believe in conservation, but conservation goes across party lines. I mean, Chris is a Republican, I'm a Democrat. We both believe in it. Chris is a hunter. I'm a vegetarian. I mean, this is not an issue that is black and white, Democrat, Republican, pro-life. It has nothing to do with that. Conservation-minded people are across the spectrum. And because you don't think that there should be conservation laws and that people should be environmentally conscious and aware, doesn't mean it's a ridiculous concept. And so what should we have? We should have people on the Climate Smart Committee that don't believe in climate change. We should have people on the committee that don't believe that we can actually steward our environment and make a difference. I mean, that's absurd. Why don't we have, I can't even go. It's just, he's making these blanket statements about somebody's ideology and moreover, a committee's ideology without having actual knowledge of the committee, without having conversations with these people, and to paint them as like the enemy to the town when they're volunteering to do something good is absolutely beyond me.
I just say the agenda driven by mostly your party, but unfortunately some Republicans on climate issues is sure as heck fire a partisan issue. We live in the most environmentally regulated state in the history of the world, maybe save for California. Okay. And so the idea that we're going to add more, that continuing to push forward with more and more and more and more and more environmental regulations is somehow the reasonable approach, when this is already, as New York State is already the most left of center environmentalist government in the history of the world, minus California and maybe Vermont. And pushing it further is somehow the reasonable middle ground. Come on.
Can I make
Reasonable
one?
middle ground, probably, reasonable middle ground is probably, Florida, North Carolina, It's definitely not New York circa 2021. That is not the middle ground of environmental views on anything.
Can I further comment, please?
Go ahead,
Go
Bill.
ahead, Walter.
And again, I'm sure you weren't prepared for this tonight, but yeah, just going back to what you're saying, Paul, I do feel pretty strongly about that. And again, anyone who knows me knows I'm an independent, so I'm not left, right, Republican. I'm independent, very proud of it. And I'm an environmentalist who loves to get outside and do a lot of different things, as most of you probably know. But to say that caring for the environment makes you left of center, and that's the problem with politics today, is you're labeling a whole movement of I think, people who have a care and concern for the environment that we can go use, and it's really mind-boggling sometimes, because Paul, and again, I do respect you taking a nuanced position on things, but by painting things, again, you said left to center 3 times, and you brought up the governor's name earlier, and those have no place in trying to do what I think is, most people would agree, is common sense strategies. I go to ShopRite. I'm a guy. I don't shop as much with my wife there. I got used to using plastic bags as fast as I did getting used to wearing seatbelts. And I'm old enough to know before we had seatbelts. It's like anything else. You get used to it because it's the right thing to do. And all the science backs that. It's not political. It's just, again, the right thing to do. So thank you for allowing me to comment. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think we should end it. But I do get a chuckle out of people who disagree with me, just basically say I don't believe in science. That's the thing. I'm not reasonable. I'm not bipartisan. I don't believe in science. I'm way over on the right side of things. Meanwhile, no offense, you guys are literally engaging in the most left-wing environmental policy that has ever been tried in the United States of America. Like I said, save for California, Oregon, and Vermont. So whatever. And we can talk about science if you want. If you look at our police panel survey, which was put together by a bunch of volunteers, there's a lot. Science apparently came up with a whole new list of genders that I was unaware of. So science is always this thing where it's great to bludgeon Republicans with science when it's convenient, but when you're answering the police survey, you can just pick that you don't have a gender, because that's a real science. There's nothing more science like no gender.
And again, with the police panel, people should ask questions about how things are formulated, I guess, before they make these kind of blanket statements, because the police panel consists of volunteers and our police lieutenant and our police chief, who participate in every single meeting and have input and basically approval of what goes on in these panels. So I understand, Paul, that you have your own agenda, but being inclusive is not necessarily being bad. And we got over 240, I believe, responses to the police panel questionnaire. And one of the questions was about having meetings with people of color, and whether we should do outreach to that community. And the majority of people that answered the questionnaire didn't have the negative attitude you did. As a matter of fact, 2/3 of the people said yes, and it ran a gamut. I mean, so if you want to criticize people's work and you want to criticize what they're doing, I beg you, come to a meeting, go to a CAC meeting, sit in on the police panel so that you could actually maybe understand what people are doing, instead of painting people with these broad strokes because they don't agree with you.
It's not a broad stroke. I'm looking at the question. What is your gender identity? One of the answers, non-binary, gender non-conforming. That is not science. There is no science that says there's more than 2 genders. So you don't get to bludgeon me with science for the environment, so to speak, and then go and call it inclusiveness on the other end. Listen,
didn't like
including
it,
a
yeah.
question about whether you're a non-binary, gender non-conforming, alphabet soup of a person is a left-wing question, and it's not based on science, and I'm not crazy. You know, because you listen, when 200 people respond to a survey, fine. Look at the voting results in this town and you'll see where they really stand on the big picture issues. And I don't believe if you went around to this town and you asked people how many genders you would, I do not think you would find a majority of the town saying, yeah, there's just multiple genders, and science backs it up. Science does not back that one up, but I guess science doesn't count when it's on the Republican side of things.
Let's
Anyone
move on.
else?
Let's move on.
Anyone else want to be heard? There being no other business, I make a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Too
Second.
late.
Favor?
Aye.
Okay, see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Night, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.